Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we are back for another brand new video. And today's video, I'll be honest with you, I am feeling pretty good. I am feeling pretty happy because of what I saw on Thursday night, which has really become a rarity this season, ladies and gentlemen, to be feeling good and feeling happy after a European game from Rangers this season. But you know, son, I just feel like we're building, son, and we're slowly but surely shaping into the team that we've came to expect under Steven Gerrard. And after a very strong dominating performance on Thursday, we have a chance to replicate that and continue to build that momentum with a game this weekend. Now, the team that's looking to slow down that momentum and genuinely just be a pain in the overall arse is, of course, St Mirren. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right in to today's video and start off with the oppositional preview and have a look at the St Mirren side, who again, as I'm currently recording today's video, find themselves sitting 7th in the old spfl table. And right off the bat, people, you're probably hearing 7th in the old table and you're going to yourself, right then, they must be struggling and playing poorly. But honestly, that can't be applied to St Mirren so far this season, because Scottish football, especially the top flight, is having a weird year where first place right down to 6th place and just beyond that is actually very, very competitive and very, very close. There's usually about a 10-15 point gap by now, but that gap isn't there right now, frustratingly for all of us. But all the bigger teams are all in and amongst it, and a couple points here or there takes you from like a 7th all the way up to 3rd and 2nd in the table. It's absolutely mental. Of course, you've got the smaller teams, the likes of Ross County, Dundee and Aberdeen, all struggling, but the rest of them are all kind of competitively fighting. And that perfectly summarises St Mirren so far this season. Very, very competitive, because if you look at them recently, over the last 6 games, they're actually undefeated. You have to go all the way back to that 6-0 pumping at Parkhead when St Mirren were down to 10 men, and they were truly awful and abysmal in the game of football as Celtic took them to task. But since that bona fide pumping by Celtic, again, they've went on this fantastic run. They've been very, very competitive. They've drew 2-2 with Hibs, they've bet Aberdeen 3-2, they bet Livingston, and in the most recent game of football they went ahead and had another 5-goal thriller as they went ahead and won 3-2 with a away performance at Ross County, where they scored 3 goals in the opening 38 minutes. By the way, now some of the goals were certainly hand-wrapped and gifted to them, and some of the goals from that game did make it to every football meme page online, but still, it shows you that if you give St Mirren an opportunity and if you give them a chance so far this season, they're putting them away. But where St Mirren have been taking those chances, they've certainly been giving chances away to the old opposition, because again, coming into this game versus Rangers, they actually sit with the 3rd most goals conceded in the top flight Scottish football. Now again, granted, 6 of them was that bona fide pumping at the hands of Celtic, where they were just awful in every single aspect, from work rate to effort. It looked like they didn't even want to be there, troops. But even if you take that off the table, this is still a team that shipped 2 goals to Aberdeen, Dundee, Hibs, Hearts and Ross County. Defensively, they're absolutely all over the shop. Which, I'll be honest with you, on paper certainly suggests that this game right here is going to be filled with goals. But again, it is St Mirren. We know how rigid, how frustrating they can actually be, especially when they play Rangers. There's not as free-flowing or attacking or as open whenever Rangers comes to town. And that's no me just saying that, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and look at the old stats. Some teams are just perfectly suited to play against other teams, and St Mirren have shown that they can be a real tough nut to actual crack. But regarding how they set up, they line up and how they actually go about their business, we genuinely couldn't have asked for a better dress rehearsal from Thursday for this game on Sunday, because it's nearly identical in every single aspect, especially defensively, because it drops to 5 when defending, etc. But when it goes forward, it sits with the 3 centre backs, and the wing backs pile forward to make it a kind of 3-5-2 when they're actual attacking. But everything we faced on Thursday will be there on Sunday night regarding their shape in the middle of the park and what they like to do. And sorry if I'm repeating myself and everything like that in back-to-back preview videos, but it does need to be said that the wing play again is going to be the key difference, because if you look at St Mirren this season and you look at the games versus Rangers, when they've actually hurt us and caused us problems, it's been that long ball from defence out wide attacking our full-back regions. And on the flip side of that, St Mirren have been carved open numerous times out in the wide position. So I go ahead and watch my preview video for the Bromby video if you want to see how this game is actually going to go down on paper, ladies and gentlemen, because it's nearly identical in every single freaking way. But again, I do think defensively, especially for Rangers, the fullbacks will be in for a game and they'll have to watch out for that ball, especially our boy Barisic, as it's one ball from McCaffrey at the back line there. He's the middle centre-back. He will go for that ball all day beyond Barisic, who's signed in McGrath, who again is a very, very dangerous player. And if I'm honest with you, that's all really good to say about St Mirren. For me, the league position doesn't really tell you the story of St Mirren campaign so far this season. They are on a very good run. They are a good team and they do have good, dangerous players that can really turn it on, and they have been causing a lot of teams problems. And I'll tell you something right now, if they weren't causing themselves so many problems defensively, those 4 draws that they've picked up so far in the campaign would have probably turned into wins because they deserved to win it in the game. They've just had a mistake in them so far this season, and it's been punished. And with that being said, that actually gives us the perfect transition over to the Rangers side of today's video. I'm just going to be honest with you, I feel like there's been a weight lifted off these shoulders thanks to that European win, and without you shouting at me too much, I've been really encouraged by the last couple of performances. Yes, even including the Hearts game, which we didn't win and we ended up drawing in really, really frustrating circumstances. But even in that game, we created numerous opportunities and had so many easy tap-ins for Alfredo Morelos that I can look at that game and be like, right, at least we're still moving in the right direction. Because it wasn't too long ago, about a month and a half ago, where we were playing in games of football where we weren't creating none and we weren't pulling the trigger and we weren't having shots, and that was driving us all mental. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in our last 3 matches, there's been a quite clear, drastic upwards take in terms of the shooting department, because over the last 3 games we've had 65 shots in the games, with 23 of them being on target, and that's not including the 4 times we've hit the post/bar and the countless opportunities we've had where a defender has flung his arse on it and blocked a shot. There is quite clearly an improvement in our attacking output and our willingness to pull the trigger, which again just honestly gets me going and gets my plump bags plumping and overdrive. And if we continue to pull the trigger like this, and if we continue the improvements we've had over the likes of the last 3 games, there is somebody out there is a team out there that's due a first ballot Hall of Fame pumping, and I'm just hoping it's Sunday versus St Mirren. Now, to be fair, if you look at the tradition after our European games, there's not normally a cricket score on the back of a Sunday or etc. after playing on a Thursday, but I can live in hope, and that's how I'm going to be spending my weekend, hoping for that and hoping Mr. Leon Balogun's hamstring is actually alright. Because we're just going to jump right into the Rangers team news and discuss Mr. Leon Balogun, because again he limped off after another fantastic performance. And I think if you're talking about players who's playing well right now and playing to a certain standard with the likes of Lundstrom, etc., Balogun's name deserves to be there as well. But again, he limped off the park and had us all absolutely terrified, but thankfully he's not anywhere near as serious as it could have been, because coming into this game of football, Steven Gerrard says he has an outside chance that is about 50-50 for making it in this game versus St Mirren, which again for me is probably the best case scenario that could have had when we seen him limp off the actual park just a week after him limping off the park with a similar injury for Nigeria. By the way, I was fearing the absolute worst, and despite the fact that I don't think Leon Balogun's actually going to play versus St Mirren, I think because of the amount of games we're having over the next couple of weeks, I think he might just be rested and rotated and given an option to play versus Aberdeen instead. That to me, whether he plays or not, is still absolutely a win, troops, because can you imagine if he did pull his hamstring and he was out for 4 to 6 weeks, where that would leave us in terms of your centre-back position? Sorry, that would be Jack Simpson, with Simpson being the only other centre-back in the football club that can play. And then in European football, Jack Simpson isn't registered, so Calvin Bassey would have to run the gauntlet in must-win games at centre-back. That there is scarier than Halloween Kills, troops. So for me, this is genuinely the best outcome that we could have got, whether he plays on Sunday or not. He'll definitely be back for Aberdeen. Speaking of back for Aberdeen. That leads us into the next player who is officially ruled out of the game, and this one is Gutton, and it did deflate me a little bit. It's when I heard Steven Gerrard confirm that Ryan Kent has just been told to slow down just a little bit. Again, there was a lot of hopes for him making it this game after missing the game on Thursday, but it's too soon, ladies and gentlemen, so it's going to be in or just after the Aberdeen game again for Mr. Ryan Kent. That one is Gutton, but again, I'd rather be a little bit patient with Kent because how big he is for us. Again, he's been playing the majority of the season hurt, so if we're giving him a couple more days, 3-5 days to get 100% right, that can only mean good things for us the longer the season goes on. But it isn't all doom and gloom, ladies and gentlemen. No. We had the fantastic news that Ryan Jack is back for the first time completely in 7 freaking months. It's been a long journey, troops. It's really been hard to stick in there and be positive and everything like that. Can you imagine how he feels? We feel it as fans. All that kid wants to do is go out there and play football for the team that he absolutely loves. He's been having to sit there and watch it like a caged animal as this injury has been really unfortunate. He's had to wait for the surgery, he's had to wait for this, he's been told to slow down, etc. He's been pushing himself, he's been told to slow down. So the fact he is back for the first time in 7 months is definitely a massive positive. Again, he's not going to be playing in this game versus St Mirren on Sunday, but still, to have him back in and around the place is absolutely sensational, and I cannot wait to see our boy Jack playing in that Rangers shirt again. And that's kind of it for today's video, but there is a couple of questions before we do wrap up today's video. The question of today's preview is going to be the Alfredo Morelos situation on. Do you start him up front versus St Mirren, or do you give Sakala an opportunity to play and maybe play Sakala central, or give Kamal Roof the opportunity to lead the line? I again love Defoe in there, but we know it's not going to happen. So that is the question of the episode. Does Alfredo Morelos play in this game for you? Let me know down there in the odd comment section below. But aye, that's it. That's been the Rangers conversation. That's been the oppositional preview, and that's been the latest Rangers team news. All that's left to us today now is to predict the unpredictable, and again, I'm just going to throw a dart to this. As much as I look at the defensive struggles of St Mirren and I look at the amount of chances we're creating, I think you've also got to take into consideration that it is a tough venue to go. You know St Mirren's going to be red hot. Jim will have them absolutely raring to go, troops, and we all know that. And after a European game, it certainly doesn't suggest there'll be a lot of goals. So despite me wanting to go a 4 or 5-0, I'm just going to play it down a little bit and say 2-0 to Rangers, with Kamal Roof being the difference maker. And with that being said, that's me officially done and dusted with today's video. Hopefully you got involved down there in the comment section below. If you did, I will be speaking to you very shortly. And before I wrap up today's video, I just want to thank everyone for the support on the channel, especially since YouTube changed their notification system and everything like that, and they've geared more towards short content and trying to be TikTok with all these shorts. And if you're under 100k, they genuinely didn't care or promote or show the videos now in recommendation boxes or anything like that. So we're having to go through a wee bit of a tough time. It is a wee bit disheartening, and it's every channel, it's not just my channels, every channel pretty much under 100k has been kind of shown, kind of been put down and says your channel doesn't matter. But I'm very proud of what we've built here on the channel. So to everyone who's gone out their way to find the videos and everything like that, thank you so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated, and it genuinely isn't lost on me seeing all the usual names in the comment section below. It's a real community here, and I'm very proud of it. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow after the game, take care of yourselves, all the best. That has been Rocky Boy Johnson. I've been CJ Over 92. Let's hope one of us is right in the odd comment section below. But aye, until after the game, all the best and bye-bye.